Hello everyone and welcome to this webinar on the new Biograph Infiniti 6.2 update. My name is Jon Bale, and if you have not heard my voice before, I tend to give many of the presentations of the webinar series that Thought Technology provides to its users. With regards to the Biograph 6.2 update, we're very excited to finally be able to announce it and talk about it. There's 3 big new functions that are going to be available. 2 of them I think are going to have a huge impact in terms of clinical use of the software. One more for people getting started with the software, the other for feedback use. The 3rd feature is definitely going to be useful for those minority of people who are software developers and are creating their own software suites and packages. Just so you know, in order to take advantage of this 6.2 update, you already have to have an older version of Biograph Infiniti 6. So if you have 6.01, or 6.11, then you can download for free the 6.2 update. If you have Biograph Infiniti 5 or an earlier version, you do have to call us at Thought Technology or one of our distributors in order to pay for the upgrade to version 6. What exactly are these new features? I'm going to first briefly describe each one, and then I'm going to go back to the beginning. We'll have a look at what that feature looks like inside of the software in action. So the first feature we're going to be discussing is the auto resizing. And so all display screens will now automatically fit to the correct size of your monitor. You no longer have to manually resize them. If you're a new user, it's automatically going to fit. If you're installing your software on a new computer, it will automatically adjust itself. The second feature, and which is very much my favorite, is the video streaming instrument. So you're now going to be able to stream feedback videos from online content, meaning if you have access to YouTube or Vimeo or other sites like that, you can directly stream those videos in a feedback session. Also, if you were to download movies and have them somewhere on your computer, you can link those movies into the system and those movies can be easily used. This video streaming instrument is going to be integrated through the DVD instrument. The third and final big feature is the screen template editor. Now this is only going to be of interest to software developers. That's not very many of you, but for those of you that do like to edit the software and modify it, this is going to be a big change for you. This allows for people to create new screens and easily transfer them across multiple channel sets and suites without having to go through all the work and difficulty that existed before. Alright, let's jump into the Biograph program and let me show you each of these features in a little bit more detail. So the first one is the auto resizing. For the longest time, we have compliance let us know that they really wish that they didn't have to manually resize the screen, because the first time you install the software, a lot of it is just having to resize over and over and over again as you explore each display screen. Now with auto resizing in Biograph 6.2, it just gets done automatically. In fact, if you're a new user, you might not even realize that you had to resize the screens originally, and that's a good thing. It means less work for you, and you get to focus more on the key elements that matter in terms of your clinical or research use. So before I actually show you what resized screens look like, I actually just want to point out one of the new settings associated with that. If I go to the Tools menu at the upper left, and I go to Preferences, a window is going to appear. And if I were to go to the Advanced tab, we're going to notice that the lower left is the screen resizing information. So with the Biograph 6.2 update, there's now going to be this box of information, and you'll notice there's going to be a check mark automatically in the Enable Screen Auto Resizing. Just below that, there's going to be 2 options for the screen picture background. By installation default, it will choose Keep Current Setting, but I'm going to strongly advise everyone actually switch it to Stretch. The reason for this is that with the screens automatically resizing themselves, we want the background pictures to stretch so that they also get resized with the instruments and everything else. Having this stretch feature turned on will just make things look a lot nicer and fit a lot better. If you prefer to keep current settings, you can do that, and the background picture will not be stretched. It will just go to its maximum size, whatever that is. Now, for some people who are wondering, if you do not want the screen automatically filling the entire monitor, all you have to do is come to the same area and remove that check mark. And so screens will not automatically resize. They'll stay fit to the current sized window. Why might I want to remove this check mark? Well, if you want to be able to show some pictures in the background, or you have 2 programs running at the same time, you only want one window covering half of it, that might be necessary for you. For those of you that are actually using 2 monitor setups, the screen resizing feature does also automatically work for 2 monitors. It takes the window and it splits it across 2. Done, easy, great. One potential issue is if you have different resolutions of the 2 different screens, then there might be a bit of a difference in terms of what the screen resizes itself to, so just make sure to check the resolution settings if you seem to run into something that looks a little bit odd and you're using two monitors. What would the software look like if I have if I have the screen resizing feature turned on? Well, it's going to just look like a full screen window, to be honest. I'm just going to replay a session that shows a few different screens, and as you can see, that's pretty much the screen just takes up my whole monitor, and that's that. There's no real work on anyone's part. It just automatically gets done, and you can go straight to whatever feedback session you want, and it's just quick and easy like that, no real thought involved. All right? So the next feature that I want to talk about is the video streaming instrument. This is my absolute favorite new feature. I'm extremely excited about it. I've been excited telling about all the people I instruct online in courses that we provide, and just it's absolutely phenomenal. So for the longest time, many of our clients have been saying they want to have access to a lot of different types of feedback videos, and that everyone has this different concept of what's good feedback or bad feedback in a session. Now, it's been hard for Thought Technology to possibly provide good quality or high quality animations that everyone likes. We originally had DVDs available because people like to use DVDs, but that still limited our choice because you had to buy DVDs, and there are often codec issues, and it required a bunch of work and extra money. With the new video streaming instrument, you can now just find videos on a website, and I strongly suggest YouTube since they have billions upon billions of videos to choose from, and you just have to give the system that website link. The system will remember it, and you'll be able to use the video that's on the website forever, or at least until maybe someone takes down that video or it gets deleted or something like that. This is phenomenal because you can automatically tailor content to different age clients. You can automatically find good content and reuse it several times. You can actually tell your clients when they go home, find a video on YouTube that you like and send me the link, and you can actually use that really easily in the system. So it's all really, really amazing. One thing I do want to let people know is that when you're using any potential video, that you still want to be stringent on what sort of choices you make. You're not going to play a video that's extremely funny because that might get in the way of the actual self-regulation and learning that they're trying to do with you. You also might not want to make it a video that's too stimulating, otherwise it just makes it too easy for them to follow if you're thinking of maybe doing neurofeedback with children who have attention problems. In a similar sense, it's probably not good to choose some Hollywood movie that has 10 million explosions and it's too anxiety-inducing, because that might not be very relaxing if you're trying to do a relaxing session. All right. Before I get going showing you actually the video streaming in action, let's show you how to add videos into the system first, because you have to tell the system what sort of videos you want. So if you notice, I'm going to go back to the Tools menu at the upper left, and I'm going to go choose this new option that's Video Storage Editor. When I click on that, a window is going to appear, and it's going to show all the available videos that you've already given to the system. Now, I've been playing around with this before, so I have some videos stuck in here, but for you who use this for the first time, you'll have simply no videos available. It'll be a white open box. Now, if I want to add a video, I'd go to the bottom left where I click Add, and in the smaller window, I'm going to specify exactly what I want to give the system. As an initial example, I'm going to want to find a movie that I've already downloaded onto my computer. So I'm going to keep this little heading of File selected, and then I'm going to hit the Browse button. Now I have to go find that video. If I recall, I put it in my Documents, and here we go, Feedback Videos. So I have two movies. I've already added one of these. I'm going to add the other one, the Pixar for Birds. As a quick suggestion, Pixar is a very popular cartoon and movie creating company. Undoubtedly, if you have kids, you've seen all the movies, and most adults have seen their movies too. If you were to search into YouTube, wink wink, they have a lot of shorts that are up there for free, so definitely go check those out. For this movie that I've already downloaded on my computer, I've selected it. I'm now going to hit Open, and the system's going to find the actual path location. It already has the name. It's the same file name, and on the category, I think I'm going to write cartoons because it is a cartoon video, and that's fine. I'm going to save, and we're going to notice the system now added a box that says Pixar for the Birds. Now, for a brief moment, the box remained black with a green V in the upper corner. That means the system was still searching for the video to check to see if it worked. If the box remains black with a green V and never changes picture, like I already just did, that means the video is actually not compatible with our system. There are still a few codec issues when it comes to using videos and streaming online content, and the system will identify if something's not going to be compatible by remaining as a black box with a green V. You can notice up here I have a selection where it says Pictures from Space, that this remains a black box and a green V, even though I added it days ago. So the system cannot use that video. There's some sort of codec issue. But for the movie I just added, there's no problem at all. Codec issues are something that are rather difficult to get around. They're rather rare now with movies that you download onto your computer, but it's still an issue when it comes to online video content. When I was initially playing with this feature, when it first got released, I think I tried 8 or 9 different online videos, and one of them did not work due to codecs. There's nothing I could do because the codec issue is actually from whoever the user was who uploaded the video onto YouTube. We can't do anything from our end. For videos that are already downloaded on the computer, it's a little bit rarer now because we're actually accepting a lot of different file formats and a lot of different codecs. And so in terms of file formats, we can now take movies that are in the MOV formats, AVI, FLV, MKV, MP4, any of those large mainstream video formats, and most of the codecs associated with them. In terms of files that are in your computer, I think the one codec that might not work that we know of so far is called H.264. That's some nerdy language. The vast majority of you do not need to know that. Just know that files on your computer have a higher chance of working, and some of the files online won't work, but either way, there's billions upon billions of videos online, so that'll be fine. Next, I want to show you guys how to add a video from an online source. So I'm going to, again, hit the Add button. And in this new window, I'm instead going to choose Links. And so I'm telling it that I want to choose a website link. What I next need to do is go find an actual video online. So I'm going to open up my internet browser. I'm going to go to youtube.com because they have the largest registry of videos. And in the search bar, let's go with National Geographic documentary, because those are really cool. Oh, I should probably spell this better. Let's go with eeny, meeny, miny, mo. All right, let's choose The Secret of Antarctica. So I'm going to pause the video itself, and I'm going to copy the link from up top. Now I'm going to go back to my Biograph window. In the path, I'm going to paste the link, and I'm going to give it a name. So Secrets of Antarctica. There you go, I can spell it. In category, I'm going to call it documentaries, because I like to keep categories. Save. The system's now going to check it. Notice it's still a black square with a green V. It'll take a few seconds while it's checking to see if this is a video that can be available for us to use, if it's compatible in terms of codecs. If it remains as a black box with a green V, I know that it's not going to work inside of a feedback session, but if it eventually turns into a different picture, then I know it's going to be functional right here. A quick question someone else had asked during one of these sessions is that, what about the ads that you find on YouTube? Are those going to be integrated into feedback sessions? The answer is no. The ads do not appear within the Biograph system and should not appear. Please let us know if you're actually getting ads. As a quick little check, oh, it looks like this video does not seem compatible. Oh, there you go. The box just appeared, so now I know the video is compatible. That's good. Perfect. So I can't use this video in a feedback session. Excellent. So this is how we add videos into the system. You can actually add these when you've already loaded a recording session, but it's probably better to do this beforehand instead of in mid-session. I'm going to hit close now because I want to finish up and actually show you feedback in action. But just know if you ever want to go back to edit one of these videos, you click on it, you're going to see there's this blue check mark appears. You can hit edit. If ever you want to delete a video, you can also select a video and then choose the delete button. It's really easy as that. So I'm going to close now, and I'm going to go and replay a session that uses this sort of feedback. Now, it does not matter what sort of data I'm using for feedback, because all we really care about is to see this new streaming feature. So in my database, I'm actually going to go choose a neurofeedback session, and I'm choosing to replay that. One thing to know is that what sort of screens integrate this streaming video streaming instrument. Those are the screens that already use the DVD. So you have to choose a training screen that has the word in the file or description of DVD, and those are the ones that use this online video streaming or video streaming from your computer. I've already actually selected the DVD screen, so I'm just going to hit OK to load those. It's going to ask, do I want to use DVD? Well, I don't have a DVD in the computer, and that's fine. I still want to continue. Okay, so I'm going to jump over to my DVD screen. For those of you who are doing this for the first time, this is what it's going to look like. Your DVD training screen will still have this large box that has a picture of a DVD in it, and that is okay. What we want to do right now is actually want to tell the system to turn this DVD instrument into the video streaming instrument. So to do that, we right-click on the DVD, and we go to the last option which says Convert DVD Instrument to Video Streaming Instrument. It's going to ask us, are we sure? We're going to say yes, and boom. Notice how the window now looks like a play button that's often associated with sort of, movies and online videos and stuff like that. We know that it's now in video streaming mode. If you wanted to go to DVD feedback mode, you'd have to right-click on it again and tell it to go back to DVD mode. That's fine. The first time you actually convert a DVD to the streaming mode, you're automatically going to have this big window appear where the system's asking us to choose what sort of video we want to be using for feedback. Notice that at the bottom we have the Secret of Antarctica. I also have some sports stuff because for athletes it's probably a little bit more interesting user feedback. I have some cartoons and some nice little documentaries for different adults and children. For me, I'm going to choose this Pixar short that I really like, The Piper. I think it's super cool, really good graphics, and it's nice and fun. I'm going to click on that video and I'm going to hit this little arrow that's pointing towards the right. Now we know that it's added to the playlist. I can choose more than one video and I can add them all to the playlist. So you can choose up to 5 different videos. And the way the feedback works is when the first video is complete, it'll automatically load the second one and it'll continue on until it gets to the end and goes back to start. If I wanted to switch the order of these, I could choose a video and do the up-down arrow, and that'll switch the order. I'm happy with these 2 selections, so I'm going to click OK, and the system now knows that it wants to load those. When I'm ready to go, I can set up the other, normal neurofeedback features, so setting bar graphs, setting bandwidth frequency, stuff like that. For you guys who are watching, it does not matter if you do not understand neurofeedback. You just set up whatever conditions are necessary that you want to train, and when you're ready, you hit the play button. What the system is going to do is going to check for this video, and then once it gets the connection, it will start the streaming feedback. Now, I'm currently on a wireless signal, so hopefully it's going to be kicking in rather soon, but it depends on internet speed sometime. Evidently, if you're going to stream from online videos, you have to have an internet connection. So the way that feedback automatically works is that by installation default, when you start first using the streaming feature, the feedback will be set up such that the picture of the window will be growing larger when the feedback condition is achieved, and the window will become growing smaller when the person falls out of the feedback condition. In this case, you want the person to keep the window as large as possible because that means they're correctly doing whatever task is on screen. For neurofeedback, it means bringing this green bar up, keeping the other 2 bars down. If it was skiing inductance, it means skiing inductance going low. If it's temperature, bringing temperature up. It depends exactly what sort of modality you're training. Either way, notice that from moment to moment, the picture might shrink and re-enlarge again. Whenever it's slightly shrinking, it means that momentarily the feedback condition was not achieved and essentially the person fell out of success. If I were to make this training task a little bit more difficult, we're going to notice that I'm going to have a harder time keeping this window large. It's actually going to be shrinking away. Now, notice also that the video continuously plays and the sound is always playing. It's only the size of the picture that changes. The whole time we're still able to hear the movie, and so it's actually really motivating because I want to be able to see the picture. I want to be able to see the image associated with the sound that's constantly playing, and I think it's absolutely phenomenal because you have a good quality picture and you have a cool, interesting movie or video to show, and it makes me want to actually try and achieve this condition, a feedback condition. Now, the picture going larger and smaller is not the only variation of this video streaming feedback we could provide. If you were to stop the video, because you can only check this when the video has not been recording, I can right-click on the instrument and I can choose Edit Instrument Settings. And this will show up all the other types of variations on the feedback we can use with the video streaming instrument. Towards the upper left, we can see that I'm using the resizing action, and so whenever I've achieved my success condition, the video box enlarges and has a transition time of 5 seconds. This does not mean that if I fall out of condition, it takes 5 seconds before feedback changes. No. It means that whenever I fall out of condition, it instantly starts to shrink, but it gets to the smallest size after 5 seconds. So you get immediate feedback as the window is moving away, but it takes 5 seconds to get to the smallest form where it's very difficult to see any picture. And so I find 5 seconds is a nice smooth transition time where they get immediate feedback, but they still have a chance to see the picture as it's moving away. If you want, you can change this number to be very small, so you can have transition time to be, well, 0 if you want instantaneous, but that's a little bit rough. 2 I find still quick, and 5 I find quite smooth. For maybe these larger numbers like 15 seconds, it might be more suitable if someone's doing temperature training because it's slow moving anyways. But for neurofeedback, I think a smaller time measurement like 5 is good. Notice that we have a lot of other options for feedback here. So there's a tunnel action, in which case if someone falls out of condition, they start zooming in or zooming out on the very center of the video. We have volume action, so you can have a higher or lower volume as the video continues to play. We have play action, which is the standard sort of feedback most of you are used to, where when you're in condition, the video plays. When you fall out of the condition, the video just pauses. And we have two other nice features that I also like, blur and pixelation. They're rather similar, but if you fall out of condition, the video starts to blur with the blur action, so it gets harder and harder to see the distinct parts in the movie. You still, again, hear the movie, and you still know it's playing, but you just don't see the image very sharp. Or you have the pixelation action, so pixels just start enlarging themselves, and it's rather similar to blur, but it just gets more pixelated. During this whole time, if we only have blur or pixelation selected, the box will remain the same large size. It's just harder to see exactly the details of the movie. Let's say we want to completely change the feedback. I showed you here that currently systems only let me play the resizing because that's what's been enabled, but to switch to one of the other full versions of feedback, all you have to do is not hit the play button yet, and instead go to the Edit menu and choose Edit Selected Screen in Screen Editor. If we click here, then the window changes and we're now in edit mode, and you just have to go back to the video streaming instrument, right-click on it, and choose Instrument Settings. Here we can now change the exact type of feedback that we're getting. So let's say I want to use the blur action. I'm going to set the blur action components exactly like it's set for resizing. So I'm going to choose Instrument Boolean Output. Then I'll choose Success. And when Boolean is true, I want the normal image. So when the person's in condition, I want to be able to see the picture normally. And I'm going to have a transition time of about 5 seconds. I'm actually going to choose to turn off the resizing action. So I'm going to be looking at this box, or the video box, the same size the entire time, and only blurring will be occurring with feedback. I'm going to hit OK, and I'm going to choose to close the screen, and the system's going to ask, do I want to save the changes? I'm going to say yes. The system's now going to reload its video. It's already going to remember what videos I told it to use for feedback, so the system does remember that, and I'm going to hit the play button. We can see what this looks like now. So we'll give it a moment to reconnect, and alright, so we have this video popping up, and it's blurry because apparently I'm not very good with this replay session of keeping the data within condition. So let's make the task really easy for me so that it unblurs. Come on, unblur. There we go. Now the image is sharp, and if I were to make it a little bit harder, we're going to notice how the image is going to get a little bit blurry. The whole idea is that we want to keep the image as sharp as possible. Or if I just make it really difficult, it's going to completely blur out. And so now it's really hard to see any distinct details of this little bird jumping around and being all silly. All right, so this is an example of the new video streaming instrument. Like I told you, I think it's absolutely amazing because you're no longer limited by Thought Technology's choice of feedback. You now get to choose exactly what type of feedback you want. You can go find it on the internet. The internet has endless resources, endless options, and it's absolutely great. You just have to try searching for different things and figuring out what works best for your clients. Now, one little thing that comes with this video instrument is that I have recently noticed on a few systems an error might appear. The error only shows up when you first convert a DVD to the video streaming instrument. If you were to close out the window after and reload it, the error will never reappear. If you actually switch between screens, the error will disappear. What is this error? Well, when you first switch the DVD to the video streaming instrument, the error is that the feedback video will not go into a negative or out of condition feedback. So if ever you notice that, just switch screens like this, and boom, it's fixed forever. You're never going to see it again on the screen. That's just one thing to be aware of. You can also just quit out and then reload the same screen, and the error will never show up again either. All right. So the last feature I want to talk about is the screen template editor. This again is very much more of a niche feature. It's for those software developers out there who want to make a lot of different display screens and are creating their own software suites. For them, it's going to be quite useful. For the average clinician who does not want to get to that level of software development and creation, it's not important for you, and that's okay. So for those who are software developers, you are typically used to going to this yellow Biograph Infiniti Docs and Editors icon. And you often go to the screen editor, the program that lets you modify and create your own display screens. Well, in this program, you're going to notice that there's this new feature towards the top that's called the Screen Template Editor. If you were to click on that, it's going to bring up a window that is the screen templates. I've already created one for universal HRV. The idea is that I wanted to create an HRV screen that will automatically be able to integrate into all my different channel sets seamlessly and easily without me having to do so much thinking work. I'm going to open up this screen template, and we're going to notice that this is the choice pictures that I've decided for so far. Let me just delete some instruments right there. And so I'm going to have some raw respiration rate for inhalation and exhalation. I'm going to have heart rate, beats per minute. I'm going to have some spectral frequencies for HRV. So the very low frequency, and the high frequency. Let's say I want to add in another instrument just so you get to see how this works. Well, I'm going to choose to add a numeric. I want to put it over here. And this window is going to ask what type of sensor do I want to link this to. So I don't want to link it to a BVP sensor, or do I want to link it to, well, any potential sensor, and the system will ask me later on. Or do I want to link it to a certain type of computation? So perhaps I want it to be linked to the frequency band for those very low or high frequencies. I'm going to choose that. I'm going to leave the box right there. If I want, I can change the font and change the pictures and stuff like that. But that's not too necessarily important for this example that we're going through right now. When I'm done making these changes to this template, I'm going to choose to save it, and I'm going to quit. And when I'm ready and made many changes, I can actually send this template into all the different screen channel sets that I've already been using. So I'm going to click on the button, Convert Screen Template to Screen. It's going to ask what channel set do I want to send it to. I think I'm going to send it to the Physiology Suite to start. Click OK on that. And the system's automatically going to be choosing and connecting these instruments to the correct statistics that it already knows that I wanted it connected to. For times that it's not sure what stat I want to connect it to, it will circle the box in pink, like right now. And then I ask, do I want it connected to respiration rate or the heart rate in terms of beats per minute? Well, this is respiration rate, so I'm going to choose respiration rate. Perfect. The next box I want to know about is down here. That's the very low frequency box. It's giving me the option of which of the three frequencies I want. So very low is purple. And the low frequency is green. And the red frequency is high frequency. So I'm going to click OK. And the last one is same sort of choice. I'm going to make that very low frequency too. And there we go. It's now connected to all the correct instruments of this channel set, and I can use this for feedback. I can do that multiple times, and so that's why essentially it's a screen template editor. I can create templates that can easily be extended down to different channel sets and different suites. All right, with that, that is the 3 features I wanted to discuss with you all in the new Biograph Infiniti 6.2 update. As a quick reminder, for those of you who already have Biograph 6, so 6.11, 6.01, you can download 6.2 for free from the Thought Technology website. All you have to do is, evidently, go to thoughttechnology.com and choose English or French as your preferred language. Go to Support, and you should be able to see Software Updates as one of the options. There we go. And then right at the top, you're going to be able to see information about the 6.2 update, and right here is the English version. If you want the French version, which I did not show you, just go to the French side of our website. If you're using an alternate language version, so for example, Italian, Polish, Spanish, German, or another language, please contact your local distributor or dealer, and they'll be able to provide you with the 6.2 update link. For those of you who are using an older version of Biograph Infiniti, such as Biograph Infiniti 5 or earlier, just give us a call or one of our distributors, and we'll be able to do a quick little charge in order to get you the Biograph Infiniti 6, and you too can start taking advantage of these 3 new features. All right, with that, we've come to the end of this presentation. If any of you have any questions about any of these 3 features, please feel free to contact Thought Technology, or you can even contact me directly. If you want to send me an email, you can do so at jonbale@thoughttechnology.com. You can see my emails written towards the lower left. Like I said, I'm really enjoying these 3 new features. I think the vast majority of you will also enjoy these 3 features, or at least, I mean, the clinicians will enjoy the first 2 and software developers will enjoy the 3rd. And I think it's going to cause quite a new wave of possibilities in terms of feedback and software creation that people are really going to enjoy. All right, so thank you very much for listening to this presentation. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and we hope to hear from you soon. Bye-bye.